It's Blkhippiee here. So today we're going to talk about my top 5 rookie mistakes as a snake keeper. So when I first got into, keeping snakes, is kind of what my, rookie mistakes. You fast forward from when I first started my collection to today, and it's so different. I mean, just the things I know, just from experience. It's crazy. And then it's just funny. I was kind of going back and just recalling and thinking back to how it was when I first started. So anyways, I wrote down, I wrote down a lot, and I just picked my favorite top 5. So number 5 was tents. So what I mean by tents are those window tents that you see, the tenting on the enclosures. So when I had a snake like in college, for example, a ball python, nobody was putting tents on their the side of their enclosures. Like, we didn't know that. I had no idea about that. So when I started my collection, my enclosure, which the first one I had was my ball python, and his enclosure was bare. Like, the sides were just open, and because of that, what ends up happening is they get super stressed out. And so that was like my first big rookie mistake, which was not really providing enough privacy. And my first snake, Bubba, my ball python, was super defensive because of that. So he definitely tamed down so much faster when I put that window tent on there. So that was a big a big rookie mistake. But a lot of other people who I've talked to in the past in different groups, I've told them about that, blacking out their enclosure, and a lot of them said it helped a lot kind of curb the defensive of their snake. Fourth one is humidity. So my understanding of humidity was so bad. Like, I thought you needed to wet them down, in the sense like your enclosure needs to be more wet than what it really was. Luckily, I was able to correct that quickly, and that's just because I was asking a lot of questions in different groups. It's kind of showing people my enclosure at the time when I was first starting, and just asking questions like, hey, what do you guys think? What can I do better? And so that was one of the things that was kind of brought to me, was my humidity. They were suggesting that it was not quite right with my ball python. I think at the time I had it maybe 60 or 55. And they were telling me just to kind of bump it up to try to keep it more like that 65 to 70 consistently. And so I was having a lot of trouble with that, and it was just annoying. So that was just like a big rookie mistake, is just not understanding, how to boost humidity. And then it's like, once you understand humidity, oh man, your life is so much easier, because all your sheds are gonna be perfect. Your snake's not gonna be in a grumpy mood because of stuck shed. It's all around, it's just great. So with the right amount of humidity, your snake is gonna thrive. They're gonna eat, they're gonna do everything. So that was number 4. My third big rookie mistake, not having an infrared temperature gun. That was a big rookie mistake, because I feed all my animals frozen thaw. If you don't have an infrared, this is what they look like. They're like $30 on Amazon roughly. If you don't have one of these, how can you really determine the temperature of the prey item? You can't, right? It's kind of funny. And I was failing miserably every time I was trying to feed Bubba, my ball python, because he was the first in my collection. I didn't really add any more snakes to my collection until I really understood him. But anyways, okay, so not having a temperature gun was a big fail, or a big mistake, because not only do you not get to kind of check the hot side or even the cold side, because sometimes your hydrometer, so the instrument that reads, your humidity and temperature, those can sometimes not be accurate. And so if you have that situation, it's always great to have a temperature gun, because you can then check those spots, and that's going to be super accurate. So, not only with just feeding, but also with their enclosure and their environment, it's really, it's safe. You never want a hot side to get too hot. If your thermostat isn't really working, we'll get to that, because that's actually the next big rookie mistake I made. But yeah, I swear, I thought if you had a temperature gun, I look at people who had those way back in the day, and I thought that was just way too extra. I was like, oh my gosh, like that's just like, it's too much. Oh, but no, it isn't. It's a great tool to have. I highly recommend it. I always tell people like, hey, do you have an infrared gun? And they're like, no. I'm like, that's your problem. That's like half the battle, is like heating it up properly, getting it to the right temperature. The prey, that is. So my second biggest rookie mistake was thermostat. I never had a thermostat before. When I had my snake back in college, we didn't have a thermostat for it. It was just, the under the tank like heat pad. That's all we had for our snake, because me and my roommates, we all went in on it. And long story short, like we didn't have a thermostat, so I had no idea about a thermostat or why that would even be important. Anyways, upon doing further research, I realized it was really important to have or to get, so I got one, and I was really happy. I was like, yes, I get my thermostat, I'm doing it right. Oh no, I did it wrong. That was the worst thermostat to get. It was a Zilla, I think it was a Zilla thermostat. Man, that thing was off by like 10 degrees. So it would say, for example, it was at 90 degrees, but really it would be like at like 80 or even 78 degrees. And how do I know that? Because my infrared gun told me, and I was like, dang, dude, like, man, it's my thermostat's not working right. So then I, went to my group. I was just like, hey guys, like, what's the thermostat you guys recommend? And they told me Inkbird. So I got, I got one, and it's, dude, all my enclosures, I use Inkbirds, and they work great. There's no issues with accuracy at all. So that was a big one. Thank God that it wasn't like, thank God it was during the summertime, and it wasn't like during like winter, because that could have been bad, right? So that was a big mistake. Number one rookie mistake, my biggest rookie mistake was leaving the top of my enclosure open. So my enclosures all have little locks. They're kind of, there's 4 of them, 2 on each side. This large one has 8, but most of the other ones are, they only have like 4. Yeah. So it's like those little latches. And anyways, I was putting in the new thermostat, the Inkbird, because I just got it. I was putting that in. Granted, I did it like late at night. It was like probably, I want to say like at 12 at night. I don't know why I decided to do it that late at night, but I just did, bad idea. I was kind of tired at my point. So I did that, I changed out the thermostat, and then, I accidentally left the top lock in the back open. And, so I wake up in the morning, the first thing I always would do is like go check on, Bubba, my snake. And, Bubba was not there. And it was very obvious because the top latch was like open. You could tell that's where he like escaped, right? So, I turned up the whole entire apartment looking for him. For maybe like an hour and a half. I was thinking so many bad thoughts, like how I'm the worst snake owner in the world. Like, how could I, oh shit. I'm telling you, hear that sound? That scares me every time. I'm at home, I didn't do nothing wrong, and I hear that siren, that gets me every time, I swear. I literally flipped this room, my whole entire place. I flipped my whole entire place looking for this dude. And not this one, but Bubba. And I literally was about to give up. I've been searching for maybe an hour and a half, and I don't have the biggest place, so there's only so many places he can go. So I checked all the hot places. That's what you do. You're supposed to check the refrigerator. You're supposed to check any place that's warm and hot, and that's probably where they're gonna be at. And that's exactly what happened. So he was actually under his tank near his heat pad. And so I, lifted up the tank and I pulled him out, and I was just so happy. Thank God, I found him in a really quick amount of time. I think it took me maybe an hour and a half to find him, and so I was able to find him, and that was really cool. So that was dope. And ever since then, I've always managed to never, leave one of their enclosures open. It's a big rookie mistake. I've even heard of stories, people who've fallen asleep with their snakes. So, if I'm ever too tired, I just don't handle them. So yeah, those are my top 5 rookie mistakes. Some embarrassing more than others, but yeah, so I'm curious about what are some rookie mistakes that you guys had? I want to know. So in the comments below, let me know, or you know, maybe you have a shared experience with, sorry, squeeze the hell out of my hand right now. Maybe you have a shared experience with me. Like maybe, you know, one of your snakes like disappeared. I'm sorry, maybe one of your snakes like escaped, or maybe you didn't even know what a thermostat was like I did, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I wanna know what mistakes you guys made, kinda curious. So the moral of the story here, guys, is just that like when you think you've researched it all and you think you know it all, I swear there's always something that you didn't know that you're gonna come across. And so it's not that you have to take the information as gold, but usually the information could be really good. I'll give you an example. Substrate. The substrate I was using was just cypress mulch at first. And you know, like you go to any store or most breeders, that's what they use, cypress mulch, right? And so this one breeder, or this one guy, he was kind of talking about humidity. It's like early when I'm first getting into this. And he was just like, oh man, if you're doing your substrate, you should mix it. And I was like, mix it for what? It's too much extra, dude. And long story short, it's not extra. It actually, I kind of, my shoulder, my arms. I kind of already gave the reasons why, but just to kind of go over it again. Yeah, so substrate's really, really important. And if you have the right substrate mix, like I do, or that I use now, it just makes your life a lot easier. And so, you know, I just chalked that dude off, or I wrote that dude off for just being, you know, I don't know. I was just like, nah, that's just too extra. I don't really care to do that. So I kind of ignored that information. Later on, months later, you know, now that I have a Brazilian rainbow boa, I definitely learned how to keep that humidity up, and old dude was right. And you know, I use it for all my snakes. And that substrate mix, this is it's jungle mix, 50. So literally take a bag, 50% of that bag, the jungle mix bag, and then the other, I just do like cypress mulch, or you can do even cocoa husk. But what I've learned, I like cocoa husk better because of how it smells, but I think cypress mulch works a little bit better. It's a little bit better at maintaining that humidity. Whereas Repti chip, I'm sorry, not Repti chip, but the husk, I feel like it dries it out a little bit quicker. It dries a little quicker than cypress mulch, I feel like, personally. Anyways, the whole point I'm trying to say is when you think you know everything, whatever, there's always something else that comes up. And so you got to be open-minded, right? So in this community, at the end of the day, it's not about like my pride or, you know, your pride. It's really about, you know, these animals. And so like giving them like the best life, you know, that we can for them. And so, you know, at the end of the day, it's better to kind of remember that as much as you can. And so, you know, and also, I mean, like, you know, these are just my experiences. And so for some people, you know, it's very different for others, you know. So yeah, you don't have to take like one person's, you know, word for anything. In fact, I always encourage people to kind of join groups, you know, because that's the best way to really engage with people in the community, and also to kind of see, you know, what's new. There could be some, you know, I don't know, some new research that comes out, or some new advice that you may have never heard of before or even thought of. So anyways, done with my rant. So me and Bowie here are about to go up. You guys get one more look at him. I love his markings. His markings are so dope. But yeah, so those are my top 5 rookie mistakes. What do you think? All right, so that does it, fam. Blkhippiee out. It's been a pleasure. Until next time, hope you guys have a great day, great night, wherever you're at. Until next time, Blkhippiee out. Peace.